Hello everybody. So back to building my Armattan Chameleon. This might be the final night. We'll see how things go. It's 10:17 p.m. on Friday, January 12th, which is my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, sister. So I think I'm going to try to finish this thing tonight. We'll see how it goes. What do I want to do first? Clean up a little bit. Let's get this out of the way. It's trash. Okay, my tools. I'll need those. Gonna need this for reference. Might need this for reference. Oh, I wanted to program my receiver as well. I got some Loctite. That's what we last. I wanted to program the receiver by putting new firmware on it. So let's do that. That's how we're going to start this video, is by me finding the firmware for it. So it's a FreeSky FRSKY. What is it? The R-XSR firmware. Okay. Go to their website. Download. Manual firmware. The most recent firmware is from November 9th. So I'll go ahead and download that. Okay, take a look at the zip file. That's interesting that there's only one. Before, when I downloaded firmwares, there was like an FCC version and then a something else version, but I guess this one is maybe only for the US or only something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it seems seems as if there's only this one firmware. So what I need to do is move that file over onto my receiver, or on my translator, which is over here. Okay. So, I know this isn't exactly part of the build, but it's still an important part of the process. So, we're gonna do it. Turn that on.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Oh, actually, I needed to turn it on when I'm holding the two trims. Let me show you how to do that. There's other videos that show you too. But you'd hold that trim in, and then flick it on. And then that's what tells it to get into the USB mode. So you can see there, you write firmware, restore the EEPROM, exit, or plug in a USB cable for mass storage. We want mass storage. Okay, USB connected. And then on the computer is where we take care of this. Oops, let me open up a new one, Explorer here. Okay, and it's going to be probably the G drive, firmwares. I'm going to create a new folder. We're going to call it, what are we going to call this folder? R-XSR. Okay, and I think I'm just going to put that FRK file right in there. Yeah, like I said, I did this before on my XM Plus, and there was a bunch of FCC and LBT files, but that's it. Okay, and then what you do, or what I'm going to do anyway, unplug that. On the back here is where the pins are, and I don't remember exactly what was positive, negative, and signal. So we're going to pull up Project Falcon's video. Project Falcon, YouTube, and we'll call it, what was this? Firmware update. Okay. Receiver. Firmware update. Okay, here we go. And then, blah, blah, he has a good image. He actually wrote it right on his receiver, which is pretty smart. Or, I keep saying receiver. On his transmitter, he wrote it. Positive, negative signal. Alright, so, what I then need to do is I've actually already made 3 wires that fit onto my transmitter. Let me see if I can find those in a jiffy here. 3 green wires, there they are, in this bag. Okay, so this is not like the cleanest way of doing this, probably, but it works, so that's how I'm going to do it. So basically what I did is I had these wires sitting around from an Arduino kit, and they have these little tiny notches on them, which made them pretty good for attaching to... Oh, you know what? I'm going to plug my soldering iron in because that'll make this process a little bit easier. I'll do it a little differently than the way I did it last time. Plug that in, get that thing warmed up. Okay. So what I did, I don't know if I can get this to focus, but I basically just cut some of the little, I don't even know what those would be called, pin things, and it makes it so that I can just slide it right onto these. So that's going to be my power. This one is going to be my, which one should I use? Probably doesn't matter. Negative, positive, negative, and then maybe the other side. I bent them a little bit to make them fit a little nicer. Negative, oh, it's not fitting on there too well. Okay, so we'll go back to this one. Okay, positive, negative, and then signal. Okay, so those all fit on like that, and then on my receiver, which is somewhere around here it is, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the wires that are on here, because it's, I can just solder right on the ends of there, which I wouldn't normally do. But because I'm going to cut these anyway, it's really not a big deal. I might as well use it while it's all attached first. Why not, right? The other thing I could have done is cut a servo connector. I just don't have a lot of extras of those yet. I could maybe make one out of these, because that would also, I think, fit onto these. Let's see. We'll test. Yeah, so I might just end up making a wire. I'm not going to do that right now. I think that's going to take maybe a little bit too long. Is that going to take too long? If I take these apart, you know what? I don't think it is going to take too long. Let's try this. Let's just see if I can make this work. I can actually just break this one. Because I just want to get one of these metal things out. This might actually be kind of cool. Okay, not really part of the build, I guess. This is we'll call this a bonus or an extra or something. But that again is part of the fun of this hobby. Is you kind of get to do things however you want to do it, and this is how I want to do this. So now I'm just going to slide this one out of here. Okay, that's trash. And I apologize for the sniffles. I do have the sniffles just a little bit here, so sorry about that. Let's straighten this one out. It'd be cool if I had green, but I don't. I'm not going to. Beggars can't be choosers. So let me just pop this in here now. I think it should just slide right in. Okay, cool. So it is what I said it was: positive, negative signal. All right, that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little. I'm going to use this maybe again at some point. So I'm going to put a little piece of red heat shrink right here. Boop, boop, boop. So I know that this is my positive side. There we go. Okay. Okay. Cool. And then what I'll do, I'm still going to solder these on because, again, I'm going to cut the wires way down so I can use kind of the end of them and just make a nice connection. I also learned a couple weeks ago that the hard way that a lot of these wires, just twisting them is not good enough, and you do in fact need to solder. Okay. Alright, so now I've got my 3 wires here. I don't know exactly which, let's see here. I don't know which wire I need to go into to update the firmware. So let's see in this video how he did it. Yeah, positive, negative signal. He doesn't really show, I guess. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was for this one. I'm going to guess. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here that I can use the S-bus. The S-bus / CPBM, which is going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4th one. So we've got ground, power, smart port, and then mine. So ground, power, smart port, so it's going to be the green. So the green is going to be my signal. Green equals signal. Kind of want to get, whoops, what did I just drop? I don't know what I just dropped. Okay, I'll figure it out later. Alright, get this maybe a little bit out of my way, actually. Get this up here. I haven't used this doohickey at all on my build whatsoever. It is just makes it a little bit easier to do some wire-to-wire soldering. So we'll click this guy, it's the white one, this guy, the green one, and then that's close enough. And then get a little piece of solder. This doesn't have to be really good soldering at all, really. It just needs to connect. Okay. Alright, that one's connected. Back. Green wire. Okay, and then it's the red wire to the one that I have the red thing on, which is there. And it's just gonna hold it for me. Actually, I don't really need this side. Just holding one side is all I really need. I'm gonna put that little piece of solder. Okay. Okay, and that's the red one. Do a little bit better of a job than that. Okay, maybe I will use the thing. Actually, where's my... That's just because I'm doing it with the wrong hands. Where are my little plier things? Where did I put them? Where did I put them? I know they're up here somewhere. Okay, where'd they go? Where are you, my little holder thingy-majiggies? It's their official term. Where'd they go? You know what I dropped earlier? Alright, I'll just switch hands. It'll be fine. Okay. And then that was the positive one. And then we got the negative one. This will be a little bit easier just to do it this way. Negative one. Negative one. Come on. Okay. Close to each other. Up there. Get a little solder on here. Or a lot of solder, as the case may be. Get these two guys to dance a little. connected. I'm gonna unplug my soldering iron because it gets really hot. Okay, that's done. Okay, looks like I soldered into here, so I gotta do this. Made a little circle. Okay, cool. So this is my super long, kind of silly looking connector, but it should work pretty well. And I don't need to use these other things that I made before, that didn't stand really well. So now I just pop this in like this, and make sure that none of those are touching when I turn it on. And you turn it on doing the same thing. Press the two insides, flip it on, and then we're going to go to write firmware. And it didn't give me any options. Let's exit. Write firmware should have been right.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Thank you for welcoming me to OpenTX. Maybe I did, maybe that's for the firmware for the actual Tyrannus, so let me follow his instructions here. Oops. Oh yeah, he did it. That's different. Looks like. Yeah, okay. Alright, what do we do? How do you get there? How do you get there? Alright, turn it on. Menu. Okay, and then instead press the page button. Oh, there we go. Firmwares. This is my RXSR, which I think you can probably see here. And then there's my FRK. Flash external device. And it says it's writing. Firmware update error. Okay? Okay, so, and this thing doesn't appear to actually have power. Which is kind of interesting. No lights on it. But I got my power, I got my ground, I'm plugged in pretty good there. I would have expected a light of some sort to turn on to this when I give it power. But I don't see one. So that makes me a little bit nervous. Yeah, nothing. Nothing. Okay. So, yeah, that does make me a little bit nervous. Let me look at his picture again. Yeah, positive, negative signal. Huh, okay. Well, let's get my voltmeter out and see what type of signal we're getting, if any. Should be getting 12 volts, I would have thought, as soon as I turned it on. So I'll just look at where I have my little joints here, which we're not touching, by the way. Nothing. Why am I getting nothing here? Oops. Nothing. Definitely nothing. Okay. Well, I may have done something wrong. Let's see. Maybe only when it's trying to write will it give it power. Let's try that. Okay, so positive here. Oops. Let's see if I can do this all without hurting myself. positive, negative. Still nothing. That germ was connected as fast, I think. Trying to write. No signal. Okay, I can keep the positive one on. Let's try this one more time. Okay. Oops. Come on. And all I'm doing is just basically pressing enter, trying to flash it. Okay. So I've got the positive ready to go. I'm going to press flash and then instantly touch here and see if it sends any sort of signal. I'm definitely getting nothing right now. Nothing. Alright, here we go. Oh, it sent a little signal. It was fast though. Try one more time here. I'd really like to figure out a way to hold this on here better. Maybe I can do it like this. There we go. Yeah, it definitely sends a signal right away. Alright, but it gets an error. So that means I'm probably using the wrong pin. So let's do a University of Tube check. This is the RXSR firmware update. Flashing it. Okay, this was 2 months ago. Blah 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 blah.
This is the old one that flash version.
Where did he get that from?
This one,
See, his says R-XSR FCC. Mine didn't say that. Interesting. Alright, well, whatever. I know how to get on the Tyrannus. I've done that. Oh, he's using yellow? Hard for me to tell which one is using. Okay, so for him, it's on the third. It was the third one, so he's actually using the yellow instead of the green. So maybe I just did the wrong thing, which is fine. Again, part of the process here. So it looks like the yellow wire is the one that you use for the firmware update, which is, according to this, that is the S port, the smart port. Hey, whatever. Cool. Fine with me. So, get this out of my way. Oh, there. Okay. We've been going for 23 minutes and I've done nothing with the actual quad. Okay, so I'm going to need to desolder this one and solder this one on instead. So let's get it lined up here. I'm going to need to solder this one on. So we'll put this over here. I'm going to desolder this guy. Actually, I'll just leave it off since I'm desoldering. I'll put that there. Alright, let's see if this solder's hot enough. It probably is. I stand corrected. Not quite hot enough yet. Let's warm it up. Okay. So, let that go for just one more minute, and then let me think of what I want to do after I get this done. I think what we want to do, I want to make sure that I have the right, all the right stuff here. So my VTx is here. which I'm going to be plugging in to with the wires that it came with. That is for my camera, right? That's for the camera. Where are the additional wires that I've got in my build here? Where'd all my wires go? Okay. Oh, and here's what I was looking for earlier. Those guys. This. What I can do is push this back a little. Put that up. And I can get this thing. Just put that up there like that, so I don't have to keep trying to find it. It'll be just right there in front of me. This is what came with the VTx. So this is just ground battery. VTx. And then this is for here, I believe, right? So, it should be like that. Is that really not going in like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. What's blocking me here? Where's the tight fit? Okay. Fine. So that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my ground and power are here, which I'm gonna have to cut this cable. I don't know why they have that kind of a connector, but that's fine. I've got audio right, audio left, video in, ground, 5 volt out. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up how to wire this guy. Because it would be nice to get audio, which I think I can get from somewhere. I think I can get it from somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Yeah, I'm just going to have to look it up, I think. Okay. And ground and battery. Okay. So those I will just get, I guess from over here. Actually, I'd like to keep them over on this side. Yeah, I'll keep that over here. Alright. well, this is hot enough now. Let's just get the receiver ready. Okay, so we're going to do the yellow instead of the green for my signal. Okay, put that there. Let's try this again. Hopefully this time it'll work. I'll have to do more troubleshooting. Alright. Got it connected. This time with the yellow wire, which I don't know if that's really the
Welcome
right
to
wire.
OpenTX.
Thank you for welcoming me. VTx, hold and press menu, press page, go down to firmwares, go to R, XSR, go to the firmware, flash external device, it says writing, and it's working this time. Cool. Oh, the light's blinking. You can see the light blinking. I don't want those things to touch, but you can see that that light, little tiny, teeny, tiny light is on. And blinking. Oh, don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Okay. And the status of this is just writing. Okay, so you can just watch that as it goes. I'll get this out of my way. I don't think I'm actually going to need it for the soldering I'm doing this evening. Yeah, now is kind of the fun part where I need to figure out exactly what wires need to go where and where I'm ultimately going to leave this thing. So like where I'm going to put the parts rather. I can have a little bit of extra wire, and it's probably good to have a little extra wire. But like I said the other day, I am going to try to actually feed from underneath and solder when I've gone through. So I got to figure out exactly where I want everything to go, which means I may do a little schematic here. Let's do that. Okay, let's do a schematic. So I've got my receiver. So first let's do the flight controller. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ground 5 volts. LED bat plus. Which I guess is just the same. It's instead of giving an output of 5 volts, it would be an output from the battery, which is however many volts your battery is. Okay, and then I've got S bus is here. Okay, so I'm going to need to do S bus here, and then my so I've got RX3 and TX3 for the UARTs. I don't actually know the difference between RX and TX. I'm guessing that TX is transmit, RX is receive. And in a video it said that this was wrong and these are flipped. So I'm going to use TX3 for my smart port, which reminds me I do need to actually solder another wire onto there. But I'm going to use the wire that I cut that I'm not going to need off of this, which is the input wire, the S whatever input. Okay, well this is done though, so you can turn this off. I might as well bind it too while we're here. So let me create a
Welcome
new
to
model.
OpenTX.
Why, thank you. Menu, let's do my 140 zippy. I can copy that model to here, copy model, select the model.
Engine,
No.
off landing mode.
Yep, okay, we're gonna exit, we're going to page, we're gonna rename this to Chameleon. Okay, I don't know if I spelled Chameleon right, but that's how we're going to do it. Okay. Oops. Okay, and we're going to use a different receiver number. We'll try 6. We'll put it in. Oh, I don't know how to give this thing power though through this. Because I don't think it's a constant power that it's getting. So I don't think I can really power it. Unless there's a constant power off the back of my receiver, constant power and negative, which I don't think there is. I don't think that there is. And I don't have any real way of applying power to this right now, so we're going to not bind it right now. We'll bind it later. So we'll take this out of here, put the back plate back on here, which is right there. Alright, at least my firmware is up to date on that guy. Hopefully it'll just stay right there for me for now, okay? My schematic. So, let us actually I can just cut these off. I don't need any of these as is. Boop. So I will save that for another build later. Next time I want to update the firmware, I'll just use that little thingy. Okay, so on this, I've got, let's look at the instructions for this, or schematic, whatever. So it's ground, power, S port, but it's inverted, and I need uninverted, or whatever, or the other way around, whatever. Either way, I don't need this wire, this third one, because I'm going to actually be soldering to that little teeny tiny thing right there. A little P, which you can't even hardly see it, but that little teeny tiny thing is what I'm going to solder to. And I'm going to solder this yellow wire right on it, so that yellow will still be my S port. So, I'm not going to cut it all the way at the bottom, but I am going to cut it right here. Boop. And then I also do not need S bus in. So I'm going to cut that one just a little bit off of that other one so they don't touch, but I don't need that either. So I only need these 3 wires for connecting it to the quadcopter, but I'm going to need a 4th wire, which is the one I'm about to solder on, and I will need this again. My eyes are pretty good, so I don't need the magnifying glass. But this is by far the smallest thing I have ever soldered, ever. So I need to be pretty careful here and as focused as I can possibly be. It's that teeny tiny pad. There's 2 teeny tiny pads, and I need one of those 2. And actually, there might be a little bit of solder on this already. Okay. I think I got a little bit of it on the uninverted, the other uninverted one too. So we need to suck some of the solder up. It's hard for me to actually even tell. It could be okay. Now I'll look under the magnifying glass, even though my eyes are pretty good. Let's put this down. What I'm going to do is just kind of scratch at it. kid might be up. Yep, okay, so I'm gonna take a little break. I'll be back. And we're back. So I think, just looking at it under the magnifying glass, and not under the magnifying glass, I think I'm okay. I think it is just connected where it needs to be. So now, I need to get a little solder on this. Okay. And I just need to touch it. Which will not be that easy, I don't think. Let me utilize this thing a little bit better. Should probably get it the other way too. That. And then we're going to hold it with this. Just barely touching that pad that I soldered. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully now I'll be able to use that wire as my wire for SmartPort, so I can get telemetry, which would be neat. Okay, so now I can get this out of the way again. Back to my schematic now that my receiver is ready, although the wires are too long. And that is soldered on there. I mean, if I yank on it, it's going to come right off because there's really clearly not a ton of room for a lot of solder there, but I think it's on there about as good as I'm going to ever get it. And I'll heat shrink around this whole thing, but I got to bind it first. But heat shrinking shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, alright, so I'm going to need, let's keep going here. So this is receiver, this is S port, and then I'm going to use, I think, this ground and this power. So those are going to be the four that I do. Is there anything wrong with that? Anything wrong with what I'm thinking? Let's remove this for now just to get it out of the way. The VTx is coming to you soon, friend. But for now, I don't need you. Because I don't need you, remove you. Okay, and when I updated the firmware, this just popped in my head, when I updated the firmware on the receiver, why did I do that? I'm not sure. I don't know that I'm going to need to. But on my last one I had to because there's some functionality that didn't work with older versions of the firmware. So I figure instead of getting into it and needing to take this thing apart when there's some functionality that I want that doesn't work, why not just take care of it up front? And so that's what I did. Okay. So now the way that I plan to solder this on, like I said, is I want to have the wires actually come up through. Let's see about how much I need of each of them. So I'm going to have the receiver sit somewhere back here. Let me actually have it go through this way. I don't know exactly where it's going to sit, and like I said, I can have a little bit of extra wire, but not a ton. And I'm going to go straight underneath here. So right about there is actually probably good for all of them. So let's do it like that. Put it like here. Oh, I don't have my big cutters, but I shouldn't need them for a while. They're in the kitchen. Okay, so all 4 of those are done. Now I just need to strip a little bit off, enough to push it through to solder it on. This is teeny, teeny, tiny wires. Maybe I can just use my fingernails. Yep. There's 1. 2. 3. And this one I gotta be careful with, because it's not really. There we go. 4. That's the one that's only on the little teeny tiny pad there. Okay, so now it's ground first, and then power. And then on the inside is going to be the smart port, this one. And on the outside is going to be signal, which is this one. So let us see if the first one's going to be ground. Let's see if I can kind of just push it through. Oh, I'm going to have to be careful. This is probably not the traditional way of doing this, or maybe even the easiest way, but I think it's going to allow the cleanest looking build. So that's what I wanted to try. And I could just lift this up a little bit, but since I already have the ESCs on there and it's on pretty tight, I think I'd rather just struggle with this a little bit first. There we go. So that worked fine. Alright, so what I might do is not use this thing to hold anything, just put it as a support, and I may just start my soldering right like this. Why not? So I need just a little bit on there. And I just need enough to hold it because I can get it on there nicer later. So that's plenty. And then this one. And twisted, twisty, twisty, twisties. The hardest ones are going to be the 2 that are kind of on the inside a little bit. Okay. So this one. Okay, it's through. Wait for it to stay on there if I can. It's okay, like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect to start with, because I can solder it up a little bit more in a bit. Okay, that one's on there really well, actually. That worked almost perfectly. That was like too good. That makes me want to redo the ground, which I'm going to do. I don't want to touch these wires though. Let's get them out of the way. You need to go under there. You need to go over there. Okay, let's redo this ground here. Ooh, it dripped a little bit. It's okay. I'll fix it in a minute. Okay, and then now the yellow one is the one on the inside, and it's the 4th one down. 4. No, the 5th one down. 5th one down, so it's the 1st one up. That's the yellow guy. This is going to be the trickiest one, I believe, of all of them, because I need to go inside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's that one. Nope.
this without the receiver being attached. Oh no, I can't because the yellow one, that matters. That yellow one is attached to the receiver, so it needs to be on here. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get a little bend in it. Through. Okay, I'm all the way through. I'm too far through. So I'm going to push it down a little bit. And then we're going to try to just solder right onto it. See if we can keep it on there. Okay, I don't really like how that's sitting. Okay. Just having a hard time getting the solder to go onto it. Okay, there we go. A little too much. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. A little, nice little dot there. Let's redo these while I'm here. Okay, I lost my ground there. I'll redo that one a little bit. That's fine. Okay, and we're back. So I guess my SD card filled out. So I got another SD card. Okay, where was I? Oh, that's right. I was struggling a little bit with some of this solder. Got a little too much on this one. So let's just remove that a little bit. Boop. Okay. And then I lost this guy. I melted the wire. That was what happened here. The ground wire just melted a little. So I got to redo this one. Actually, it looks like it's mostly still there. So let's see if I can just pop it right through the hole. Doesn't really want to go in there anymore. That's okay. As long as I can drop a little solder in it. Well, just enough to grab it. I just don't like how much solder is on there. Looks like my grand plan here is not working out so well. There we go. I'm gonna grab this. Let's see. Yep. Okay, good. So that one's on there pretty good. That one's on there real good. This one is in there real good. Alright, it's just a matter of getting the green one. And that'll be it. And my receiver will be on officially. And then what I could do is I could put my power lead on and I can actually power it up and at least get the receiver going. I don't have the VTx plugged in yet, so that wouldn't harm anything. Alright, let's bend this. And this one, in theory, just goes right here. think I have quite enough of the metal showing here, so let's get just a little more. That would have been too much. That's a little too much. So I'll cut a little of that off. After I twist it, of course. Okay, a little bit off. Okay, there we go. Retwist. Twist, retwist. Cut off that little bit that stayed. Okay, and then retwist. Twist, retwist, 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 and this one here, gonna do the same thing, a little bend on it. And it's through. Stay, I think that'll stay enough. And just a little droplet of solder on it. Okay, in theory, my receiver is connected. And the other day, I was looking at the where I wanted this to live, my battery pigtail thing, and I actually like the length that it is, and I want it to go this way because it's going to come up and around. So I can go ahead and actually solder that together. This just takes tons of solder, as you can see. And I'm going to put a little extra on top, and I can use my big one for that. I want this thing just to be on there really good. Gimme. Come on. Thank you. Okay, nice big bubbles there. Okay, I think what I want to do now is bind my receiver so that I can put the unplug soldering wire or soldering iron. I want to bind my receiver so that I can put it where it's going to ultimately go. Twist it up a little bit. The wire's kind of nice. And at the end of the day, it's going to go, actually it's underneath this. At the end of the day, I want it right about here. So, and this is the side that actually will be up, I think. Okay, so I think I can apply power at this point, and I'll be ready to unapply the power very quickly. See if we get any magic smoke, which would not be great. Just gotta get a LiPo here. Alright, got a LiPo. In theory, I can plug it in and get ready to bind this thing.
Welcome to OpenTX.
So,
Engine off landing mode on.
page up. Alright, that's in bind mode. This is a teeny tiny little button. Okay, I think it's in bind mode. Okay, and hopefully it is bound now, and I will undo this. And then I'll plug it back in. That's blinking red still. So it didn't like something. Alright, put that back into bind mode. Maybe I just wasn't pressing the button well enough or something. This is like the world's smallest button. Okay. Actually, it'd be easier for me to do it with my left over here. Okay, pressing the bind button. Okay, it is green. Ah. Try that one more time. I hate that beeping, but this is the problem with this being a loose pigtail. Yeah, I wasn't pressing the button, I guess. Maybe it'll be easier if I can do this to press the button. And then just squeeze that. Now I can use my left hand here. Like this. No. Okay. Okay. I've got both my green and red lights, and the blue light, I don't know exactly what the blue light is. Maybe it's the, I don't know, smart port or something. Alright, bind. This is a 16 channel. Channel 6, 1 to 16. Bind. Okay. And then I will remove power from this. And then, if I'm lucky, blinking red again. Okay, so maybe I'm doing something wrong with my binding procedure, so I'll YouTube it. Bind RXSR binding. Okay, how to bind Free Sky XSR, Free Sky RSXR. Vietnamese version, I don't know if that matters. Okay, well, let's just see here. G16. 16, press the bind button. Yep, then you put it aside. Yep. 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 Bind, press the bind button. I just want to see what colors it looks like when he plugs it in. Yeah, then you press bind. So he was pressing and holding the bind button the entire time. I don't think you need to do that though. This is also blue. Alright, well, apparently. Alright, let's look at this one. Okay. Not sure why it didn't work. Hmm. So, it doesn't seem to like it. I'm wondering if it's this firmware that I put on it. Oh yeah, it even says LVT, and I need FCC. So, that stinks. Hey, hey. I should have noticed that one a long time ago when I first downloaded it. So, this one will probably say FCC, not LVT. Okay, alright, so I need to get my firmware on here corrected. So what we're going to do, disconnect the battery. We're going to use that thing that I made, and hopefully I'll be able to find another set of these that I can use so I don't have to unsolder anything. Okay, I can't remove it that far. Oh no! My little yellow guy just popped off here. So that's going to be tricky to solder back on here because it's just such a small, teeny tiny little pad. But alright, well, it is what it is. So, where's that little thing that I made? Here's a little thingy that I made. I need to find something that will fit into here, which this one might be the key for me. Boop. Yep. Okay, and make sure they're in the same order. I think so. Alright, so I need my red, my green, my yellow. Let's see if we can do this with just twisting, which I think I actually can. I don't think I actually need to solder these. So let's try that again. Get the right firmware on here. Resolder that yellow guy. Black. Part of the fun, guys, is learning all of this stuff. Okay, so the black one, it's not power, it's this one. I think I could probably just twist up on because it just needs to send data. I'm not like powering a motor or anything like that. The yellow one goes here. Should have thought that through, huh? And red goes here. Okay. Alright, those are all touching. Killed that. Boot it up like the fancy way. Okay. Plug this in so it connects to my computer. Bump-a-da-bump. Open up the drive, open up firmwares, open up R, whatever, get rid of that. I can leave that LBT one in, who cares, it's not hurting anything. And then where's my downloads? Kill that. My downloads are here. This was date modified. This one. Okay, I'll get the FCC one in here. Boop, like that. Okay, so that's that. Now I can turn that off, or just unplug it. Boop. Turn that off. Do this, and it's power on the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, turn it on. Welcome to OpenTX.
Engine off
Yeah,
landing mode.
press and
on.
hold menu, press page, go down to firmwares, R to R, do the FCC one. Action remove touching, flash external device, it says writing, firmware update error. Why? What did I mess up? Oh! These wires are in a different orientation. My power and my... Is that right? Because this was ground and then power, not power and then ground, wasn't it? Let's take a look. Ground and then power. Ground and then power. So I actually need to flip my red and black wires, which is normally kind of a no-no. But something was backwards here, so let's do it. Rewire that one. Okay, and rewire this one. And we'll see if I need to solder though. If I need to solder them, I will, but I don't think I should need to. I think just touching is enough here. Okay. Alright, so I got, let's try that again. Exit, add FCC1, flash external device, writing, error. Okay. So we'll solder. Fine. Fine with me. A quick little solder job here. Okay. Okay. Just grab all of those right about there. Alright, let's solder all these things on here. That's no big deal. So this wire, again, because it's... Oh, is it completely backwards? Wait a tick. Wait a tick. Okay, so yeah, it actually is. There's completely different wires here. I'll still solder just because it's out. No, why not? Okay, so I'm actually doing these three because these colors are backwards on this one. Unless I can put it in the other way, which I don't think I can. No, something wrong with this. So it's actually ground is going to be white, so white goes to black. White goes to the straight black one, which is there. Okay, this is annoying. I'm just going to go like this. We will try twisting again one more time. So now that I have the right wires. Okay, then green goes to the red one. Okay. And then this was still the correct one. So it's in the middle. Yellow still goes to yellow. Okay, let's see if this works. Plug it in, center, make sure none of those are touching, flash, now it's working. That's silly. That was silly. Alright, that whole process was a little bit silly. That was my mistake. I should have known to look for FCC. So I'm not on the latest firmware.
I'm on the second to latest, but this one says it supports export transfer PID parameters, so I think that probably matters. If I want my telemetry or something, I don't know. Either way, we're gonna let this go. Are we doing the time? 22 minutes, and I've done nothing, so it's probably been about an hour and I've done nothing, basically. I guess I've wired the receiver and the battery lead. So really all I need to do is wire in the camera and the VTx. So I guess I am pretty close to being done. But the next step is going to be this receiver, and then I'll bind it, and then once I've bound it, I will, oh, I need to get that little yellow, I gotta resolder that little yellow thing, which really stinks. It's really hard to solder on there. It's just such a small pad. But this tells me it might have come off anyway after some flying around or whatever, so hey, it is what it is. The writing is about 80% done. I'm gonna let that go. I might as well look at the instructions for the VTx. All of the signals. That's another reason that I want that to be kind of on the top so that I can easily change the frequencies. And by the way, tomorrow I am going to try to get my my ham radio license technician thing. I feel like I'm not really going to need a lot of these. Like, why would I need 5-volt out from my video transmitter? I'm not sure where I'm going to get my audio out from. Let's look that up. Audio out, DYS light controller. Alright, another blue copy.
Most cameras can get 5 volts to some other volts, and some cameras can only operate off 5 volts. The point is to filter the house chargers and do things. So it's just like 51 volts, then you transfer to 49 volts, or at least the filter through the filters. But what I have done is just using the filters.
Alright, this is done, so I'll unplug it. Unplug it, put the back plate back on it. Back plate, back on it. Put that back there. Okay, we can undo my little contraption. I can unplug this thing that I'm going to use later somewhere else. Now let's figure out how I'm going to solder that yellow wire back onto this little teeny tiny pad. It's just crazy small. I think what I could do is hold this down like this,
Just a little. Bring this over here on top of it. I want it to be this way though, so let's rotate it a little. Maybe I can hold it like that. Put that under there somewhere. Down a little more, like this. And then I hate doing left-handed soldering, but I don't think I have a choice. Oh, I guess I unplugged the soldering iron at some point. So it's super cold. Plug that back in, and then we'll think of something else to do while that's heating up. It's gonna be a few minutes. Maybe I can clean up a little. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. So that I'm done with the receiver. Other than needing to bind it, which is something I'll be able to take care of in a minute. I don't think I even really need this anymore because I have attached that. Everything else is straightforward. My video in, my video out, which goes to the VTx, and that looks like that's really going to be it. And then my battery wire. Okay, so what I could do is just map out those wires a little bit. So the wire that's going to go to the camera is this one, which I was thinking about installing pins, which I have. Where did those pins come from? Pins came from maybe my flight controller. I'm trying to think. I have a little set of pins that I was thinking about using as part of this install, build, whatever you call it. Thinking about using them. They came with, I'm just trying to think, it came with something that I bought, but I don't remember exactly what. Could have been the flight controller, could have been something else. I got a bunch of piles of stuff over here. And in one of these piles, there's some pins. So I'm just looking through a couple of the piles here. Where's my box for the flight controller? That's what I think I need. A little coughing from a kid. Hopefully they stay asleep. Got a bunch of things hanging on my wall. Parts. But I actually don't see. Uh-oh. Sounds like there might be a baby that's awake. Okay, that's an awake baby. So, I'm going to shut down the camera for a bit. I'll be back, and I'm going to unplug my soldering iron. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, I am back. Let's try and solder this little teeny tiny guy back on here. So I was looking for some, oops, one sec. No, it's not. The pad's just all beat up now. Shoot. Okay. Well, I'm going to do left-handed soldering and just hope I can push this onto the right spot. Okay, hopefully that's on there good enough now. Plug it back in. I just spent the last, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes looking for a pin that I thought I had, but I just can't find it. So anyway, no pin. Alright. If this binds now, which I really hope it does, then what I will do is, since that's not a very good soldering job, I'll put the heat shrink on it, and then that'll kind of hold it in place, hopefully forever. Or I just might not use telemetry too, whatever. Okay, so now, back to binding. Let's try this again. There's that, put that away, put that here.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Why, thank you.
Engine off landing mode on.
Oops. Menu, enter page. Up, bind. Okay. And then we go through this process again. Okay, got green, red, blinking, good, stop binding, unplug, and then hopefully when I plug it in, it'll just be green. Alright, green. And I've got I can tell how much signal I've got on it, so that's working. Awesome. Connected. Beautiful. Beautiful! Alright, shut her down, unplug that, put the heat shrink on it right away while I'm still thinking of it. Okay, so let's get the right size here, which I think is probably going to be this red guy. This red guy might be a little too small. Yep. Get the next one up, get the black on. Okay, yeah, that looks like that'll be about right. Get my scissors to cut it to the right size. Just not very big, it'll be about there. Okay. And my cool 3D printed gimbal protectors. Next to my friend Guy. Alright, see if I can get over all these connectors, that's what I was really hoping to do. And yeah, I know this adds a little teeny tiny bit of weight. I don't care. Alright, once again, I do wish I had a heat gun. Don't have a heat gun, I have a lighter. So, that's how we're going to shrink it. Okay. Okay. Then we don't touch it. And then we plug it in again and see if I'm still connected. I like that it's fully
Welcome to OpenTX.
fully getting going there.
Engine
Alright.
off landing mode on.
Looks like it's connected. If I unplug it, it'll tell me that it lost connection.
Telemetry lost.
There we go. Perfect. So that works. Now we need to get the camera in here. And I'm just going to kind of put that right there, keep it out of my way. So the camera gets plugged in here. And let's hold this the way. Oh, I was looking earlier for these pins. I've got them somewhere. And it would have been nice because then I could have just kind of popped this in here. But then it sticks out kind of far. So I don't know. Maybe it'll actually end up looking nicer doing it this way. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So this is not the one that it came with. We need one that was 4 wires.
So, that's not it. I don't know where the correct wires are that I'm going to need for my camera. And the little box I think I am now using for something else, but where is it? This is my box of stuff I don't need. Where is the other little box? I thought I had another little box of things, unless I threw it away, which is possible. And the trash went out the other day. I hope I didn't throw away parts I need. I feel like it's awfully unlikely I would have done that though. Probably up there. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Let's see. I probably need this set here. Yeah, this looks like it's right. 1, 2, 3, 4 wires. 3. NT30. I don't know what that went to, but it doesn't really matter. So, I have a feeling this, actually, you know what? I do need to find the other box because that other box had the, that wire, a little special wire in it that would help me change the settings on the camera. So where did I put that box? I'm fairly certain I wouldn't have thrown it away. It very well may have dropped behind here somewhere. It do drop back here from time to time, although I don't see anything obvious. And I remember the box is actually starting to come apart. So remember the box. Where did I put the box? Cleaned up, put things over here. This is here. This is not the same box that it came in. Okay, well, I'm going to, for just a minute, I'm going to shut the camera off and I'm going to turn this place upside down a little bit, looking for that one box that I think I might need. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I am back again. I think we're in business. I found what I believe was the, everything I needed here. So this was the box. This was the CCD, this is the VTx box. The box that had the camera in it had this wire, which I took out, and I put right there. It was sitting right there the whole time. So, what I am going to use is this, which might have been with another camera or from another camera, I'm not sure. But it looks like video ground. It's not exactly the right colors, so this probably is not the one that it came with. OSD vid ground 5 to 22 volts. I don't know if this is going to fit in here. I don't think that it is.
And it's going to be hard to get in here because of the angle it's at. But I don't know if this is the right wire for me. Nope, this is not going to work. I need one this size. It's a little bit bigger than this one. Could be this one. Or it could be the other side of this one. That happens sometimes. Nope. Okay. So, this one is power ground video. No OSD on it. But that doesn't matter because I'm going to get the OSD from here. But it's going to bug me that I don't know where the wire is that I would have kept it. There's no way I would have thrown it away. I have the same connector like this. And in theory, I would have even left it down here near all of these others, but I don't know. Not sure what happened there. Anyway, let's see if this wire will fit. And I don't, like I said, I don't need the OSD, so it's not a huge deal. Or maybe the OSD is only for when you're like changing the settings and stuff, which I am not. Alright, so I mean that fits in there just fine. And what I want to do is you want to keep these away from the power wires as much as possible. So this is going to go underneath. And I'm going to do kind of that same little up soldering job like I did, but I'm going to leave a little bit of extra wire on this one. So we'll cut this off like here. And untwist it just a little. And pop off a little bit of the ends. How did I plug my slot in? Is that still going? Okay, good. Wasn't sure if my camera was still going. Okay, that's 2. Number 3, twist them all. So this is going to be what I will be plugging into here. So this is just going to be 5 volt. I'm going to power it with 5 volts from the flight controller. And this is the signal, or the video in. And obviously this is a ground. The black one is a ground. So, I'm going to twist these up real good. It's hard to twist for some reason, because it's 12:20 a.m. I'm just a little tired. Alright, get it a little smaller now. Maybe not do it right over the quadcopter. Do it over here. Okay, make that one a little smaller. I'm going to make them all a little bit smaller. Then I'm going to tin the... Actually, I don't want to tin the tips, because I want to push them through like I did before. And then just get the pad, and hopefully it'll just grab it. Okay, so I need to be careful to wire it correctly. So the ground is the top, 5 volt is the next one, and then video in is the next one. Okay, so it's just 1, 2, 3. Ground, power, signal. So we'll do what we did before. Start with the ground. See if I can just get it in there. Looks like I got it. Okay. And we're going to make it, push it back in just a little. Alright, and then we'll see if we can solder her on there. Okay. Doesn't look great. I'm not a huge fan of the way that one looks. It's not really sticking to the pad. And I'm getting a good connection obviously with the wire, but man, it just doesn't want to go to the pad. Can't heat it up enough. I got too much solder on there. Okay, well it's on, but I just don't really like the way that looks. So we might be doing these ones the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the way that looks. But let's just do the other two and see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, it's not going anywhere. I'm just not sure it made a good connection. Yeah, it didn't make a good connection. It's wiggly, wiggly wobbly. Wiggly wobbly all over there. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Man, and the back of this thing is actually getting hot. I think I need a new soldering iron. Okay, finally we got one on there that looks somewhat decent. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that was the ground, and then we do the power next. Whew, it's gonna be hard to get it in there. So now I got the other wire kind of like fighting against me a little bit. Okay, that one is through. Now kind of the same deal. Let's see if I can get it on there. A little ugly, but I think it worked. Yeah, okay, like I said, a little ugly, but it worked. Okay, and now we'll get the yellow one. Actually, I'm going to try to use this thing to help feed it through. The wires are just kind of like fighting against it, so now I got to push it down. There. Hold it a little, I don't know. Okay. That one came out great. Okay, well, not too satisfied with that second one, so we're gonna just undo it a little. Okay, well, that's in there now. Okay, I think the only thing that's left now is my video transmitter. And for that, it comes with wires. Shouldn't need this anymore. So this is the power wire, which I'm going to just do bat plus and ground, which will be the two down here. I don't need much. Really doesn't need to go very far. So it's going to go like there. So give myself just a little bit extra. Cut that part off. Don't need that. Let's strip out this big coating. Okay, to show me the two wires. Might need a little bit more than that. Maybe this much here. Okay. All right. These appear to just be single strand. Oh no, they're not. I lied. Okay, but this is going to be my positive and my negative. I'm going to put that in bat and ground right next to one another. It's just the last two, so that makes it pretty easy. Bat is the bat positive is the inside one. Let's get this out of the way for right now. Alright, so that's going to be this one. Okay. Push that down a little. And I'm going to try to just get the negative one in there too, while I can. Yeah, it's going to be easier for me to get them both in at the same time, actually. It'll be fancy. Trying to get fancy here. Okay, negative is in. Positive's not. Okay. A little bit closer to each other. Okay. Alright. This is not going to work. I'm going to try to use my fingers again. Negative is in. Positive. Come on. Positive's in. Alright. So I got them both in. Get them to both stay in would be nice. Careful. Okay, let's pull that through a little bit better. Oh, push. Whoop, whoop. I lost the positive. Just pull that out of the way for right now. Okay, this will be good enough. I'm going to do some solder here. Get that one in there. Okay, I like that. Like that a lot. Now I can pull the negative back a little bit. And I can actually cut just, well, maybe I'll just twist it. Kind of fold it into itself here. And then I'll smush it just a little. There we go. And then I think we can just solder it in there. No, it's not on there. There we go. Okay. Got my positive and my negative for my video transmitter now. Alright, and that's gonna just squirt right back here. Might be a little bit too much, but I can, all the wires can kind of fold in under it a little bit, and I'll zip tie it in. And then I need this like power reeve type thing, which has the audio. Whoops! All the way down she goes. It has the audio, which I kind of like want to figure out how to do, because I think that would be nice. An additional piece of feedback to get from the UIS, the flight controller. But I don't know how to get it. Let me see how I do this. How to get audio, smart audio. Yeah, I don't know how to get it. Audio, L, flight controller. Let's see, how do you get audio? So search, F, audio, oh, no audio. Okay, let me just see. Microphone for FPV, mounting mic on quadcopter. So it looks like the way people do it is by actually putting a microphone on. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if there's any way, yeah. So right now, since I don't have a microphone, I'm not going to be able to hook that up, but I also think I might end up buying one in the future. So I'm not going to cut these wires so far that I can't reuse them. And I think, let's see, let's make sure this is the right one. Okay. Alright, so my audio left and my audio right, like I said, someday I think I'm going to want to use them, but today is not that day. So I'll cut this one a little bit farther out than I normally would. And same thing with the other audio. So that was audio right. This one would be audio left, which I'll do again, just another a little bit farther out than I normally would, but plenty left there that I could re-solder onto it pretty easily. And then we've got video in, ground, and 5-volt out, which I also don't think I'm going to need 5-volt out for anything. I also don't think I'm going to need a ground here, because I've got this ground. So why I'm grounding, the whole thing is getting ground. I'm not sure why I would actually need a ground here. Where do those instructions go? Because the whole thing is being ground. It's like a ground out if I was hooking up something else into it, but I'm not. I keep looking at the Japanese side. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not. I feel like it really doesn't matter. How is it all set up right now? See, I'd have to cut this open too to change the frequencies. Right now it's I don't even see where that one changes. I don't even see the AB. So it says here, right, there's A, B, C, D. Oh, that's just 4 and 5. That's all it's saying. I get it. So I've got 4 up, 1 down. So I'm on C. And then I'm on channel 1, which is 5705 megahertz. Which I don't know what I'm normally on. But I don't think that's what it normally is on. I'm going to check my goggles, and yeah, I mean, this is, I feel like, somewhat of a poor design. I'm going to cut this out a little bit so that I can easily change the frequency. The whole thing is just shrink wrapped on here, but I want to be able to change my frequencies for when I've got race day. So we're going to cut into here carefully. There. My finger kind of hurts. I think my soldering iron burnt me a little bit. Gotta be careful with that thing. I do have another soldering iron ready to go, though, so I'll probably retire this one after this build. Just go right there. Oops, almost just cut myself. Okay. Alright, now I've got access to the little switches, and I think I want to take a look at my goggles to see what frequency I'm running on right now. Let's do that. This will take a second because I've got my antenna on here, the diversity thing. Let's just take these off real quick. Easier said than done. Oh, I could have checked my old receiver. Oh, it doesn't matter. Alright, I am on Really? Well, I guess that slides out that way. Okay. Fine. Alright, I am on IRC FS. Okay. Then what channel am I on? Probably channel 1, which would be 5740. Let's just assume that's what I'm on. Okay, let's assume I'm on 5740. Let's redo this, the guy here. Let's redo this guy here. You know, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just messing around with my goggles here. Alright, so let's assume I'm on 5740. megahertz. Okay, assuming I'm on 5740. To get this onto 5740 is A and channel 1, which is 3 up, 2 down, 3 up and 2 down. Okay, now that's the right channel. I'll take a picture of this with my phone for reference so I don't forget. I've done that before. I'm gonna do it like this. There we go. Alright, got my picture. It's 12:45. I'll probably stay out here another, I don't know. Well, I'll probably stay out here until this is done realistically. Okay, here we go. So now, to wire this sucker in, like I said, I don't really think I need any of this. I don't think I need the 5, I don't think I need the ground or the 5 volts. So I'm gonna chop them, and we're gonna try it without it. And if it works, cool. If not, then I'll solder it back in and I'll ground it and wire. But I really don't think I'm gonna need to, because it's you know, I'm already taking care of that. So I think it's just the signal that I need, and then the ground and battery from this. But I think that's all I need. Alright, so this is my video in. So that is the video out from this one, which is just the one underneath the 5 volt. I don't need this much wire here. So this is going to sit about here. I want to have a little bit of room, but it's going to go underneath it. So let's do like here. Right about there. Okay, I'll strip it a little bit. We're going to do the same thing, the underneath solder job here. And I can actually unplug everything here, just do the one wire, which is this one right there. Whoops. Stay in there, stay in there. Come on. No, you need to stay. There you go. If I just smush it down a little bit, that kind of holds it in. That's good enough. Okay, my super hot soldering iron. And a little bit, where's my skinny solder? There's my skinny solder. A little bit of that, and hopefully this is going to be it. Okay, looks good to me. Yeah, that's in there pretty good. So now this goes under here, and we're going to plug this thing in and see if I get any video out of this. If I do, then it's just a matter of patching it up, and I'm done, I think. Which would be kind of cool. All right. Oh, it goes in like anyway. It goes in like this. This one goes in like this. Okay, and I know you gotta plug the antenna in. It's really bad for them to not have the antenna plugged in. So I got my antenna plugged in, my receiver, which I had already tested. I know that works. Camera is on, plugged in. I don't know. I'm gonna put some power to it, see what happens. See if we have any magic smoke or if it just sings to me. Sing! Sounds like it's singing. Okay. Goggles. This is the moment of truth right here. If this is it, then it's just a matter of, you know, cinching it up and doing some tuning. This on there good, get that on there good. Well, I do see the OSD, but I am not getting any video. So I wonder what is going on. If I'm getting OSD but not getting video, that means I'm on the right frequency. It recognizes it's moving. I'm getting nothing from the camera itself. If I change my channels here, yeah, okay. Alright, so something is not right. The OSD is definitely working. So that's good. But the camera feed is definitely not working, which is not good. But because the OSD is working, I know that that means that my VTx is working properly. Man, they get hot fast. That's already burning hot. Yep, the flight controller is all screwy, but that's because it needs to be calibrated. It thinks it's like completely sideways right now. But it's telling me 5 volts, a couple amps, so it's working. All right, so now we go into troubleshooting mode. Unplug this, and let's look at what could be happening. So my video wire, let's make sure I got these set properly. It is those 3, right? These are the 3. That was soldered really well, actually. Power, maybe not so much. Power could be a problem. Ground could be a problem. Maybe it wasn't plugged in properly up here in the camera itself, but let me just confirm. Yeah, 5 to 22 volts, ground, video. Yep, okay. So that's definitely right. And that's just for fun. If I plug this in, take a look at my goggles again. I think I'll still see, yeah, just nothing at all from the camera, but I still see the OSD. Okay. Which is what I would expect. So let's unplug it. Now, let's plug this back in again and make sure it's all the way in. So I've had that happen before too, where this just wasn't all the way in. It's actually a little loose. But pretty sure that's in there good enough that it should be giving me a signal. I'll really get it in there. Alright, so that's really in there. Now what I'm going to do is give it power again, and I'm going to check with a voltmeter if I'm getting power on the pins or not. Okay, 20. So it should have been ground up top and then power. Oh, hold on. thought I saw the wire on the ground, but that's a different wire. Alright, let's see if I'm getting power and ground here. Power, ground, 3 volts. I'm only getting 3 volts. Is that right? Is that what I should be expecting? That should be 5 volts. Only 3 volts here. Why am I only getting 3 volts? It's supposed to be 5. 3 volts will not power this camera. This camera needs to be powered 5 to 22 volts. So I could desolder there. Man, that really stinks though, doesn't it? 3 volts over here too. 3 volts, 3 volts, 3 volts. Why am I not getting 5 volts out of this? Maybe my battery is low. I don't think it is though. I think that there's something funky going on with the power to that. Well, I can test my battery, how low it is. Battery is at 13.3 volts, and it's a 4S, so it should be 14.8. So it's a little low, but not really. I should be able to still go down quite a bit farther. Alright, so let's test the ones that are bat. Bat. Bat plus is on the inside. Ground is the outside. Alright, so that's 13, so that's working properly. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to desolder the one power wire, and I'm going to bring it around and just see if I can solder it onto the top of the bat plus, and just see if that fixes the problem. And that might not be my permanent fix here, but that's what we're going to try to do, just for now. So I'll handle adjust on that one. Okay, and we're going to bring it over, and okay. Now that's on the full power, full battery power. Now let's see if I get a video. If I do, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Yes. Still nothing. Still nothing from the camera. OSD is working, camera is not. So now, let's test again and see if it's getting power that it should be. Oh, those are apparently not connected to one another. Oh, that's because I put it on the wrong one. Okay, well that ain't gonna work. put it on the ground. I put the power on the ground. So I got to desolder from that one and solder it onto the one that actually has power going to it. Okay, try that. Oops. Oops. Should be okay. Alright, now, magic smoke. No magic smoke, so it's still happy with me. And maybe now we'll get some video. Hey, we got video. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in there at all, but there's the video feed. Awesome. Cool. Well, that means that all the electronics are done, and it's a matter of just kind of cinching it all up. So I will unplug this soldering iron and probably never use it literally ever again. Once it cools down, I will dispose of it and I'll use my new one going forward. This is exciting. I am excited. Okay. Don't want to make any rash decisions though. I still want to zip tie this down. And then I'm going to zip tie this on top of it, I believe. I can probably just zip tie both of them down together. Although I wanted to be able to switch the... Actually, I can probably get to it from underneath it if I do it like that. Okay. So we want to zip tie these both down. And I've got a little bit of a lip to do that. So I'll use one of the zip ties. How many zip ties did they give me? 1, 2... They gave me 5? They gave me 5. That's beautiful. They did. So I'll use one of the zip ties they gave me for this. Underneath. Zip tie it down. Oops. Flip that around. Okay. So what's important though is that I can still put this on. In fact, I'm going to do that lightly. Out of here, I just gotta remember to put it back on. 1:00 a.m. Okay, we're gonna put that like this. Just for now, just kind of soft mount it. And like I said, I'm gonna be taking a lot of these apart and putting my blue thread lock on it. But right now I just need to have it positioned where it's going to be, so that when I zip tie it all down it all makes sense. Okay, I want the receiver directly on top of it with one. The wire is going out this way. Okay. Alright, if I need to change the frequency, I think I'm just going to have to like pop it off. Just fine. I'm not super happy with that positioning of it, because it feels like I'm not actually zip tying it anymore. Yeah, I'm not. So can I push it back, or can I zip tie a different spot? Okay, I think I'm just going to use one of my zip ties now. I'm going to go straight through here, I think that's going to stay on. Like, I don't think it's going anywhere, but I'm just not really happy with it. So I think I can get one more zip tie going this way around it. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going to use one of my zip ties, one of my big, thick zip ties, instead of these nice little ones that they've given me. Big zip ties are over here. You guys see my big zip ties anywhere? Oh, here they are. I found them on my wall. Okay. And the big zip ties. Go through it. Like this. Just put that straight down there. And then I'm going to pull up through here. Like this. There we go. And that'll just kind of help hold it down. Like that. Just keep everything from sliding around too much. Alright, that I'm happy with. So, get that off there. Get that. I need my actual cutters. I might use scissors if this is a pretty small zip tie. Yep. Okay, yeah, it's going to move around a little bit, but it's not going to come off. That's what I cared about. It's not coming off. Okay. Now, I can zip tie my ESCs down. And that's what I'll use these last four for. The front two first. Okay. That one's not going anywhere, no. And then this one, oops, not the zip tie. We'll do it like this. Okay, now that one's not going anywhere. Okay. Whoa, that went flying. All right. Dropped my little tweezers. Okay, let's put this back on so I don't get too fingerprinty. Okay, and then these two are special because I'm actually going to have them go forward like that because I like putting the receiver on it. So I'm not going to cut these ones yet, but we're going to keep it so that these are on the bottom instead of on the top. Okay, that one's going to come around like this and get, actually I'm going to go underneath it. Lift it up just a little, there we go. Okay, I'm going to heat shrink that onto there, pull it a little tighter. Okay, and then this one, that last zip tie. thing. This, I want this to be on the bottom, so like that. Okay. Same thing, let's put this under first this time. Learn from our mistakes. And a 4-in-1 ESC would definitely be easier, but this I think is a little better because if one ESC goes, and I've only got one thing to change, I don't have to take the whole quadcopter apart. I just, just one. Okay, now we can cinch this down. Okay. Cool. Now I'll put my heat shrink over the receiver wires. Let's see, what size do I have to use? I have to use kind of a small size here. This is a pretty small, I like using red and blue, generally speaking, but I think the red's going to be too big. Yeah, it's going to be way too big. Even this blue might be too big. Maybe I can use green and black, or 2 greens, 2 blacks. Maybe 2 greens might be kind of cool. There's the green. Yeah, the green feels good. Alright, so what I do here is just put the receiver wire inside the zip tie. It's a little bit easier said than done. Or inside the heat shrink, rather. Okay. That's one, and then do the other. This quad looks so cool. Okay, so that's the other one. So that's 2. Then heat shrink it. Shrink it on there. The lighter. And then you can kind of see the outline of where the wire is. And then you know where to cut it. Okay, so nice and toasty. Okay, I'll clean those off a little bit. Get the soot off of it. But I can see where the wire is, and I'll make my cut just a little bit above it. About there. And then right about there. Oops, that's a bad cut. There we go. Okay. Now I just put the plates on, the stickers on, and I'm done. I'm going to program this sucker. It shouldn't take too long, really. So I'll play with that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to need my screwdriver thing. Let's use my thread lock now. Now's a good time. I've got some fresh blue thread locker, so that I will be able to take it off. Red is no good. Red is permanent. Blue is not permanent. Need to cut it. Put it up. Oop, got a little on the scissors. It's okay. I'll clean that off eventually. But for now, let's put a little bit of thread locker on this. You don't need to use a ton of it. You can just use a little bit on one side of it. Whoops. So we need try and not get it all over myself if I can help it. Okay, a little paper towel here to help me out. Okay, just enough on there to help it from going out. This is my one that's too small. Here. Ooh, I'm getting very sleepy, and I gotta get up early tomorrow for my test, which I should probably study for a little bit more. I had to take a break though. I was going a little crazy, a little cross-eyed looking at the test materials. Okay. Not much. Comes out of there quick. Okay. Okay. Those two are good. No, I think I'll put this plate on. Bend that out a little bit. And then I can use my, what doesn't it like? Oh, it's pushing against that, that one zip tie is just not quite in the right spot. There we go. I might just have to force it down a little. That's fine. Okay, let's do my last step baggie, which is this one. Okay. So this guy goes here. Countersunk ones. I guess I could. I don't know, I'm gonna keep the thread lock off of them for now. I don't think I'm gonna lose these. Okay, and then I'm not sure what those two big ones are for. I guess I'll find that out soon. Now I need to go back to my smaller bit, which I'm just going to leave right in front of me here. That was almost a disaster. Okay. What could those two larger ones be for? Just don't know. I just don't know. I have to reference my instructions again. Four. It could just be an extra too, I guess. Okay, and then lift that up. I don't think that there's a front or a back. I think it's just the top. That's really better. And for this, I need my last little baggie here, which is this one. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. Okay. One. Opposite. Kind of feels a little bit if it's cross-threaded, but it went in. Just a little tight. 3. Okay. Last one on this side. 1 hour and 2 minutes, it looks like I've been going here. Kind of slow. It took me a couple hours tonight, but I did a lot of trial and error, obviously. And I think I'm gonna have a working quadcopter here by the end of the night. Oh, bring that back. Okay, that's the last one. Alright, I am going to look at the instructions because it's weird that there's two random bolts. I don't have any holes in here or anything, so yeah, I don't know where that would have been. And it looks like it's the same one that the motors are using, so maybe that's just what it is, just a couple extra motor ones. I don't know. Looks a little weird with that wire being longer than that one, but just because the receiver is kind of leaning out that way a little. A couple of wires flippy flopping underneath, that's fine. Okay, now the stickers, let's put those on. Pads, rather. So this one looks like it goes like this, and I guess you just pop out all the little indentations. That'll help with lining it up. Let me close this up for now and lock it tight. Don't need that anymore, don't need that anymore. I gotta clean a lot of stuff in here. Don't need that, 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 that. Okay. Take the backing off, and I bet this is quite sticky, so I don't want to mess this up. Oh yeah, it's sticky. Okay, line it up just right. Pretty satisfied with that. Okay. And then do the same one for up here. Little GoPro. Okay. Actually, I'm kind of tempted to put this one back in here. Just leave all of these in there. Have a little extra foam. It's not going to hurt anything, I don't think, and I can always pop it off. Although, what's it going to stick to? Nothing. So that's just going to fall off anyway. So we'll pop it out. Okay, same deal, it is crazy sticky. So don't want to screw it up. Well, this one kind of just sits pretty nice on it. Okay, put this back on. Throw some props on it later. I'm going to program it first. But in theory, we have ourselves a quadcopter. Yay! Yay! And the people rejoice. And then I guess the final touch would be the battery strap. And I would show you what the GoPro looks like, but I'm using the GoPro to make this video. Alright. I think, can I put it like this? Not sure the best way for me to do this though. If I put it like that, then getting this on here would be a little messy. I could go like this, and like that. No, not really like that. Let me think this through a little bit. This. Like that. That'll work. Then I'll fold it up on it. Okay. So she's going to look something like this. I'm going to pop that somewhere where it doesn't get damaged. Something a lot like that. Too cool. Too cool. Alright, let's see if my video still works. Which I sure hope it does. Yep, video's working. Says it's an echo, says I don't have enough battery power, which is accurate. And now, let's, I can probably unplug it. And I think I'm going to call it a night. I would like to program it, but the wire I've got for it's inside, and it's pretty late. It's 1:30 a.m. now. But I think we're done. I'll clean up later. Okay, see ya.